Hey everybody, my name's Collin. I did this project through the Community Engaged Associates program in partnership with Zach Garcia down here and our mentor, Dr. Keith Avon of the Department of Physical Therapy. Our project is a community-based approach to promoting physical activity for people with chronic kidney disease. Some of the main objectives of our project will include promoting collaboration between all the stakeholders involved, so not only the patient, but the family members, the caregivers, doctors, so the whole broad spectrum. We'd also like to develop strategies for a community-driven project. One of those would be fostering co-learning through focus groups, and we'd also like to disseminate our results in a way that the everyday person can understand and eventually get to developing a culturally appropriate intervention. So some of the significance, our community engaged approach will bridge different perspectives involving the patients, providers, family members, and other caregivers. And we really want to identify cultural, traditional, and ethnical differences and disparities involved. Because some preliminary data actually mentions that there can be differences for different patients of different races or geographic areas. So we think that's really important. And there's also a lot of clinical significance we'll talk about in this chart up here. So there is physical activity, which can be important for quality of life, transplant feasibility, and all-cause mortality. And a lack of that can also lead to less likely to get a transplant. And an increase in physical function can improve your wait time, so you're more likely to get a transplant. We know people with renal disease, they also suffer from osteoporosis or sarcopenia as it progresses. And despite all these known benefits of exercise at, not causing osteoporosis or sarcopenia, some people still fail to exercise due to low motivation, fatigue, and a lack on physicians and other caregivers to actually help promote physical activity. So our approach is following this model here, and this is a two-phase thing, and our current project is working on phases 1 through 4. The pre-seed portion is predisposing, reinforcing, enabling constructs in educational, environmental diagnosis, and evaluation. This is key to developing an intervention. So currently, in our project, Zach and I have been looking through surveys, doing our literature review, trying to find the best options to help gather the best data so we can create an intervention eventually. We've also been working on focus groups this semester and creating different questions that target the patients, but also target caregivers and the rest of the team. And then eventually our goal is to develop an intervention that is culturally appropriate and adds like an education toolkit so patients with CKD can get more information on how to exercise, better access to exercise, so on and so forth. Our current progress, last fall, we didn't receive NIH funding. I know Dr. Avon, I think he had a meeting today, right? Somebody at the State Department looking for some state grants. And so far this semester, Zach and I have been working on the focus group interview questions and reviewing the literature, trying to get a better idea of how to approach our project in the most successful way. So our project is still under progress, but until we continue getting funding, it's kind of going to be at a halt for a little bit. My takeaways is, research helps highlight health disparities. I think it's really important to, develop these questions for the whole community. So not just the patients, but getting kind of an idea of what everybody thinks in the matter. And then I also realized that asking the question is the easy part. The hard part is gaining support from people, getting the money or the funding, and then, kind of figuring out your participants and all that kind of stuff. But I'm very thankful for everybody that's helped me, Dr. Nagel, Dr. Avon, You guys have been a huge help to me, and you've definitely worked with my crazy busy schedule, which has not been fun, but I really appreciate all you've done. Thank you.